On a humid summer evening in the bustling city of Greenfield, the streets were alive with activity. People hurried home from work, couples strolled hand in hand, and the sounds of traffic filled the air. In the midst of it all, Marcus Thompson, a man in his mid-30s, was trying to make it through another long day. He was an Uber driver, clocking in extra hours to save money for his son's upcoming surgery. As Marcus navigated his old but reliable Honda Civic through the city streets, he received a ping for a pickup in a quieter part of town. The request was from a secluded area, not far from a neighborhood that had seen better days. But Marcus was no stranger to rough neighborhoods. He had grown up in one himself. He accepted the ride without a second thought and made his way to the pickup point. When he arrived, the street was dimly lit, and the houses seemed to huddle close together, casting long shadows on the pavement. Marcus waited for a few minutes, glancing at his phone to confirm the address. Just as he was about to cancel the ride and move on, the passenger door flew open, and a man jumped into the car. "Drive," the man barked, pulling a gun from his waistband and pointing it at Marcus. Marcus froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He had heard stories of carjackings before, but he never imagined it would happen to him. The man was young, probably in his early 20s, with a look of desperation in his eyes. "Please," Marcus said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I don't want any trouble. Take the car. Take whatever you want. Just let me go." The young man hesitated, glancing around nervously. "I don't want your car," he muttered. "I just need to get out of here. Drive me out of the city, and I'll let you go." Marcus swallowed hard and nodded, putting the car in gear. As they drove through the city, the tension in the car was thick. Marcus tried to stay calm, but his mind raced with thoughts of his son, his family, and what might happen if this young man decided to turn violent. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the outskirts of Greenfield, where the city lights faded into darkness. The young man directed Marcus to a deserted road that led into the countryside. Once they were far enough from the city, he told Marcus to pull over. Marcus did as he was told, his hands trembling on the steering wheel. The young man lowered the gun slightly, his expression softening, as he looked out into the night. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice cracking. "I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't know what else to do." Surprised by the sudden shift in the man's demeanor, Marcus glanced at him. "Why are you doing this?" he asked quietly. The young man sighed, running a hand through his hair. "My little sister, she's in trouble. She got mixed up with some bad people, and they're after her. I needed to get her out of the city, but I had no way to do it. I thought if I could get a ride, I could take her somewhere safe, but..." His voice trailed off, and Marcus could see the fear in his eyes. The young man wasn't a hardened criminal. He was just someone who was desperate to protect his family. Marcus took a deep breath, making a decision that would change both of their lives. "Where is she?" he asked. The young man looked at him, startled. "What?" "Your sister," Marcus repeated. "Where is she? Let's go get her and take her somewhere safe." The young man stared at Marcus, disbelief written all over his face. "You'd do that after what I just did?" "You made a mistake," Marcus said, his voice steady. "But it's not too late to make things right. Let's get her out of here." Tears welled up in the young man's eyes as he nodded. "She's at our apartment. I was too afraid to go back alone." Marcus started the car again, turning it back toward the city. They drove in silence, the tension slowly easing as the young man realized Marcus wasn't going to turn him in. When they reached the apartment, a small, scared girl ran out to meet them. She couldn't have been more than 12 years old, clutching a worn backpack to her chest. The relief on her face when she saw her brother was palpable. They drove the siblings to a safe house in a nearby town where they could stay until they figured out their next steps. As they parted ways, the young man shook Marcus's hand, gratitude shining in his eyes. "Thank you," he whispered. "You saved us tonight." Marcus smiled, his heart lighter than it had been all day. "Take care of each other," he said. As Marcus drove away, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. What had started as a terrifying encounter had turned into something entirely different, a reminder that sometimes, all people need is a second chance to do the right thing.